Welcome back to another draft grade. All right, thanks for joining me. This is going to be a draft grade for Corey's team. Turned down for Watt. Okay, interesting name. Maybe he's going to change his name this year. We shall see. I changed my name. My name is the Hot Chub Time Machine. I just had to do it. Obviously I'm a big fan of Chubb and taking them in every league so far. So I thought that was a little fun name. Okay, so Corey's team. Let's see. Let's dive deep into Corey's team, and I'll tell you what I think of it. Right off the bat, he took drafted fourth, I think, fourth round, fourth pick overall. He took Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is awesome. Okay, this is Greg Zingerman is the head coach. I think Gary Kubiak. He's underneath Gary Kubiak here, and who's always been known for running the ball. Obviously, they're going to run the poop out of this ball. Okay, they're going to run a lot. And having Dalvin Cook is awesome. He can catch the ball. He can do a lot. They got rid of Stephon Diggs, so someone's going to need to get this ball. And I don't think Adam Thielen's always going to be open. So I think Dalvin Cook might even be in line for the best season yet. Okay, so awesome first pick. Awesome, excellent, strong running back to start with. His next pick. Round 2, Chris Godwin, Tampa Bay wide receiver. Now, I think if there's going to be a receiver on Tampa Bay that's going to ball out, it is Chris Godwin. Tom Brady is known for throwing short passes over the middle, slot receivers. And I think Chris Godwin is that guy who's going to be in the slot, lining up and crossing up the middle and more shorter routes. We know Mike Evans is the deep ball guy. I just don't think he'll be getting as many deep balls this year. So Chris Godwin, if this offense does run really well, I think under Bruce Arians here, I think Chris Godwin is the guy to own. Now, will it be as good? Will it be good at all? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have question marks all over this offense. Even I think Bruce Arians is really getting mad at all the guys during this practices recently. Kind of makes me nervous. Then it's going to take him a few weeks to get in sync. So if Chris Godwin doesn't start off as a really high receiving guy, stick with him for a while. Don't trade him off. If you're in another league, trade for him if he's not doing well. Get him on your team because I think the second half of the season he could do amazing. He could have one of the best seasons overall, But I can see him struggling with Tom Brady like right off the bat. Even Tom Brady struggling in a new offense that he's not used to. Or they could just take off him right from the bat and start balling out. I don't know. His third pick is a tight end, George Kittle. George Kittle is awesome. I think you can't say that. You say Travis Kelce's probably the only tight end that's better than him as far as fantasy-wise, right? He's a big tight end, very physical. He doesn't mind tackling people and getting rough. I think that's his downfall, though. Obviously, it's going to be making for more yards and more better plays and big plays, obviously. He's known for big plays. He's known as one of the guys they throw to here. But I think he could get injured. I think he's gonna get injured this year. Honestly, I'm afraid. So hopefully he picked up another tight end, to kind of handcuff him. Oh, handcuffs is not the right word, but just like a backup. You know what I mean? His fourth round pick, he took Antonio Gibson from Washington. I actually gonna do 2 thumbs down on this pick. Now I love Antonio Gibson when I was doing drafts. Earlier in the season, I was getting him 12th, 13th round, but he's been moving up. People keep eyeing on this guy, and they love him. Maybe because Adrian Peterson's gone, they think Antonio Gibson is, the guy. He is the guy. He is the guy. But again, this Washington offense is not good. This is a bad offense. Now, Washington may have a tremendous defense. All right, Ron Rivera. Plus, they have 7 first-round picks on this defense. That's more than like any defense in this past decade, I want to say, for first-round picks. That's amazing. This is incredible. So I think they're going to be very good defense, but as far as their offense goes, it's going to be trash. However, Antonio Gibson, super talented. He's going to catch the ball. They're probably going to give it to him a lot, especially depending on how much they run the ball, which I think they probably will be doing quite a bit of. Just the 4th-round pick. I think you probably could have got this guy in the 6th round, maybe. But obviously, he saw something here. He saw something, and he wanted him. So he's got very good receiver, very good running back in Dalvin Cook, and then he's got George Kittle, awesome tight end, and then Antonio Gibson, question marks, especially as early as this. But interesting. So to start off, you got your 2 running backs. I like it so far. Next, we come to Tyler Lockett, Seattle. Now, people actually, in the 5th round too, people are actually underrating this guy. I think he scored like almost a touchdown every other game last year. However, I do think DK Metcalf is the Seattle receiver to own here. I think he's going to be the lead receiver for this team. However, that doesn't mean there's no place for Tyler Lockett. And if you look at the stats for Seattle, they don't throw a lot. They throw like some of the least amount of most teams. And you wonder, well, then how can these receivers be so valuable every year? How can Russell Wilson be so here? Because they actually throw in the red zone. Okay? They run throughout the field, and then they throw in the red zone, which is kind of opposite of what most teams do, actually. And they're very, very efficient at it. So they might not throw a lot, but when they do throw, it's actually very efficient. They get a lot of yards, and they make a lot of completions. So I'd like Tyler Lockett a lot. I like him a lot. So it's his number 2. So he's got Chris Godwin and Tyler Lockett. I think both are going to be solid receivers. They're going to score week to week. You pretty much guarantee on that. And then the 6th pick, he picked Darren Waller for the Raiders. Now, Darren Waller had an okay season last year. He started off really strong, ended up being okay, I think. Still a strong tight end. But with him taking George Kittle, number 3, and Darren Waller, honestly, I think this is a good decision. Because if George Kittle does get hurt, you still got Darren Waller, and you can always start Darren Waller as a receiver if you need to. I think he's viable in that. Is he going to be as good as some of these other guys? Probably not. You probably could have took someone else. But having that extra tight end, and you know what? Last year, people were wanting tight ends. You know, people didn't have tight ends. You could, if you had one, you could trade him for a lot. So if Darren Waller does seem to be just as good as we think he is, you could probably pawn him off to somebody and get a pretty penny for him. 7th round, AJ Green from Cincinnati. I think they're going to throw a lot. AJ Green, I think, is cleared to start. I think he's cleared to play week 1. Very good pick. I think he can be underrated. I do think Tyler Boyd might be the number 1. I want to see AJ Green play. It's been a while, since he's really done much. Although he has potential to ball out. So it's an interesting pick. I actually really like it though, especially for your 3rd wide receiver. Why not take a risk on a big play guy? A guy who could be really, really good. Now he's picked 8th round. He picked a defense, and again, drafting defenses so early, I just don't like it. I don't even care. I don't care. It's the best. However, I do think the Ravens defense is the best defense. I think it's going to be the number 1 defense this year. Okay? Number 1 defense. They're awesome. They are awesome. So drafting it 8th, again, it is a bit early. However, it is the best defense in my opinion, so I have to give it to him. I still think you could have probably took another running back or another receiver here. But I guess you want to take a defense in round 8. Whatever. All right. Round 9, Emmanuel Sanders. This is actually a guy I've been picking up on every other team. Apparently, I didn't get him on this team, but I wish I did because I think Emmanuel Sanders with Michael Thomas taking most of the coverage, Sanders being single coverage for most of the games, I think he's in a very good spot on the Saints. I think it's an awesome landing spot for him. Very good receiver. So good pickup on your part here. I picked up Boston Scott. It's the next pick, 10th round. This is a running back for Philadelphia. He's like a more of a pass-catching back, I think, and I don't really see a place for him. I think Miles Sanders is the guy in Philly. Boston Scott might come in and score a little bit here and there. Corey really likes him because he picked him up late in the season and won him a playoff game, took him to the championships, actually beating me with Boston Scott just because he got like 8 passes, scored like 4 points, his half-point PPR. This is honestly the reason he picked him up that week, and he ended up beating me because he scored like 8.5 points, and Corey beat me by 3 points. And basically that half-point PPR was the reason. Well, not just the only reason, but one of the many reasons. So I think that's why I don't like Boston Scott here. I don't like it. Thumbs down. So he took a QB finally around 11. This is where I like to take my QBs as well. He took Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan's awesome. Probably one of the best QBs. I think their defense is just going to just give up so many points that they're going to be throwing all day. And Matt Ryan's proven that he can throw. He can keep up. He's got Julio Jones. He's got Calvin Ridley. Now he's got Hayden Hurst as well. They're going to be throwing. They're going to be airing the ball out and just doing well. And it's his 2nd year with this offensive system. And usually, typically, if you look back, his 2nd year with an offense, he does a lot better. So he's going to be doing really well with this team this year. So good QB. He's actually the QB I wanted. I remember coming up to the board and saying, "Is Matt Ryan taken? Matt Ryan?" Yes, he was taken by Corey. And that's smart, dude. That's really smart. Greg Zuerlein, he took a kicker in the 12th round. Again, what is with these kickers and defenses going off the board so early? What is wrong with you guys? Greg Zuerlein. Greg the Leg. He's playing for Dallas now. That's fine. I wouldn't take a kicker this early, but he's a good kicker. He can kick 50-yarders and 40-yarders, so maybe they go for it more often. Not a fan, though, but actually not that bad. I mean, he's a good kicker. He's probably a top 5 kicker. I just don't want him this early. But kickers are important, I guess. You know, if you get a bad kicker and he loses you the game like I did in the last round, Robbie Gould missed a field goal, cost me 3 points. Bet Corey got in front of me, took the lead, got to the championship round. I'm still salty about that, by the way. But I love you, Corey. PP boys for life. So his next pick, Robbie Anderson for Carolina, 13th round. Carolina, little secret. Their defense, horrible. Probably the worst defense. Panthers defense, worst defense. They might be airing the ball out quite a bit here. So Robbie Anderson might have a place. They got some good receivers there. I'm interested in what this offense is going to do. Fine pick. Another QB, Matthew Stafford. Again, you don't really need 2 QBs, but with COVID and everything going on, maybe he just wanted some protection there at that position. Matthew Stafford, pretty good. He always airs the ball out, passes a lot. He gets 4,000 yards almost every year. His next pick, running back Damian Harris, is the 15th round. Damian Harris for New England. I think he's like hurt or something right now, isn't he? Although I think he's going to have a solid role in New England's running back situation. I don't know what role. I don't want any running backs in New England. I don't. I stay away from them. But, if he does have a role and it's I guess it's worth the risk. Would I want it? Probably not. I would take a backup. I would have took Alexander Madison. He'd think he missed out on Alexander Madison for back as a handcuff for Dalvin Cook. And Bryce Love, actually. He probably took Bryce Love to cover Antonio Gibson just to make sure you got the guy there. If that's the offense that you like, if that's and I invest in run games. I run offenses. That's what I do. I see an offense that's really good. Ravens, Buffalo, Minnesota, the Browns, obviously the Colts, and you just take as many backs on that, and you just say, I don't care who the back is. I want to own that guy. That's why I take Nick Chubb, and I had to force myself to take Kareem Hunt too, and I didn't want to take him that early, but I did anyway because I believe in that offense so much. That running system is going to go crazy, and I want that guy. So that's kind of how I'd run it. Same with San Francisco. He took Jerick McKinnon, who we know has been riddled with injuries and all kinds of things, basically made of glass. But if he does get a position, a situation here, he could be a startable running back. So not a bad pick. And then took another defense. He took a defense in the 8th round, and then thought, I'll take another defense, the Rams defense in the last round. I mean, that is essentially throwing it away. Unless he really thinks the Ram defense is that good. I mean, I guess with defenses, you never really know. But again, if you're going to waste an 8th round pick on a defense, why? If you're not planning on starting them every week, just don't do it. Just take. You can take 2, but just don't take one at the 8th round. You could have got so many better players. All right, so overall, let's go back through this. You got 2 tight ends, George Kittle, Darren Waller. You got Dalvin Cook, one of the best running backs in the league. Chris Godwin, I think, potentially the best running receiver. Not the best running receiver, obviously, but a top 10 receiver, no doubt. Especially with the half-point PPR, he could be getting a lot of catches. Ravens defense, love it. Emmanuel Sanders, love it. A.J. Green could ball out. Tyler Lockett, very strong. Antonio Gibson, not so much. I like this team a lot. I think you did very good. Matt Ryan, even. Damn, this is a good team. Greg Zuerlein. So you do got, at all your positions, you do got strong things. The depth, maybe not be there. But I'm going to give this team an A-. And the minus for that Antonio Gibson, which, again, that round 4 is just so early for him. But, I could be wrong. You got Boston Scott there, too. Just not a big fan of these guys. AJ Green, I think he's good. You got question marks on him, but I think he's good. 2 tight ends, two defenses. Just there's no reason for that. So A minus, just because there's a few flaws. I think it's a very good team overall, though. A minus might sound bad, but dude, trust me, that is a very good team. I'm actually very impressed by a lot of your guys' teams. While I'm reading some of these, they look very good, at least in my opinion. So very good. Good job. I love your team, Corey. Stay tuned. I'm going to get to some more teams next. So stay on the lookout for some more videos, more from me. And stay tuned every Friday. I'm going to do Fantasy Football Fridays, where I'm going to come out with a video talking about this week's football, things that happen with players, changes, moves, injuries, some updates. You know what I mean? Players, I think they're going to go off. I'm going to look at wide receiver and corner coverages. Players that I think that are going to go off during the fantasy season for mainly for FanDuel, like DFS play, FanDuel and DraftKings and things like that. Players, maybe just some stardom, sit-em questions. You guys can call in. I'll have a little phone here. You can call in and ask me questions about your team, your setup, who you want to sit, who you can start. I'm going to give you advice because I think I know what I'm talking about. I might not. I might be crazy. We'll see after this year. Last year I was writing a lot of things. I called a lot of plays. I feel like I can do it again this year. We shall see. Don't quote me on that, though. Don't quote me on that. So I had a lot of fun making these videos. At the very least, it's a good time for me. So stay tuned for some more. Have a wonderful day. And peace out, brother. Packers for life, baby.